Troopers, and welcome to the Five Years First Com Chatter. I am Chloe.
I'm Will. And yeah, it's been a little while. We both haven't been overly well recently, have we?
No.
So
I feel like everyone's getting ill at the moment, and
True.
We'd rather you not watch us when we're our nose is running and we're coughing.
Sounds like General Grievous on a good day.
Not fun, no.
But we're here back. And we've got the Skeleton Crew episode 7 and finale to be talking about today. So we've got a little bit, so we're not going to wait about too much because we get sort of straight into it.
Yes, because we've got 2 episodes in it.
Yes, and we don't have a lot of we don't have any news.
No.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have some rumours and some...
We do.
Actually, we do have some.
Okay.
So one of the rumours is that season 2 of Ahsoka is going to include another Clone Wars flashback scene thing.
Which we did.
Yes. Or it's going to be live action Mortis flashbacks.
Which definitely would be interesting.
Would be interesting and would make sense considering what is happening in Ahsoka, especially with at the end of it where we see the statues of the Mortis gods. So I would be quite interested to see that, in my opinion, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think also Obi-Wan returning to do a flashback like they did with Hayden.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Yes, and but I know Ewan does as well, but if it's Clone Wars flashback, it's like literally we get to see Ewan in Clone Wars armor. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, a lot of people are suspecting it could be a Mortis arc because of the whole statue and the ones and all that, but
I wouldn't mind it.
A lot of people are upset that if they do a live action Mortis for Ahsoka, that Ewan McGregor wouldn't be in his Clone Wars shoulder armor.
That's what I want to see. I want to see, because I know this sounds obviously very fan driven, but seeing Kenobi in Clone Wars armor means there's a higher chance of seeing live action Cody that isn't CGI. And again, Cody looks great in Revenge of the Sith, don't get me wrong, but seeing him in live action like they've done with Rex, that'd be so cool. And have Rex and Cody live action together.
But do you know what? If they did that, they would have to come out with a Cody helmet. And then you could have your Rex helmet and then the Cody helmet.
Yes.
Clody? That's not a name. It's a mixture between Cody and clone. A Clody helmet.
But we're also looking at hoping to get a Commander Cody on the podcast because we've not actually had a Cody or a 200. We haven't had a 200 draft.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
337.
We have, and we've had 501st. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. But
we've had Coruscant Gang.
We have. Shout out to Ethan. We also have news of potentially Baylan Skoll's recasting.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's talking about this, so I'm kind of thinking it is true.
It's one of those ones, isn't it, that lots of people are reporting on it. Lots of, shall we say, genuine
sources.
Yeah. So it seems like they have recast Baylan, which I understand. Because Baylan, especially with how season 1 ended, was clearly meant to be a big part of the story, and I don't know if you can tell it without Baylan.
Yeah.
But, I can't remember his name. It's a Scottish actor who played the Hound in Game of Thrones. Very good actor. Really liked him in Game of Thrones. And he does sort of have a little bit of like a Ray Stevenson sort of look. But I mean, like, you know, when he's obviously got the beard and the grey hair, I think will be the real
I've
test.
seen that he has like sort of longer hair, but I think
Yeah,
if they give him like the same sort of haircut to Balin,
it could work.
Yeah, it could work.
I think as well, it's a case of I really hope that they I know that sometimes with recastings it's hard to picture this new person because you're always thinking about the old person. But like, I genuinely hope it does well for. I think his name's Rory. I think, but I really hope that it goes well for him because, you know, Balin is a character I've become a bit of a fan of, especially in the I thought he was incredible, and Ray Stevenson's performance was fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I think like it is unfortunate that obviously we lost Ray Stevenson, and I feel like a lot of people just wanted him left, sort of how Ray portrayed him.
Yeah.
However, I think because they made Balin such an important role in Ahsoka, and they sort of just left it hanging, like they didn't kill him off or anything, because obviously at the time, like he was still around, so they were planning on doing like season 2 with him. But you know, unfortunate things happen in life.
Yes,
and,
very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am excited at, you know, how they bring Balin back as this new actor.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
Again, I'm looking forward to Ahsoka season 2, especially now that we've got these rumors of like flashbacks.
Yeah.
Please,
I think
please,
this
please.
could be like one of the best pieces of Star Wars that's coming. Because I know, but if we get more flashbacks of Ahsoka, see more clones, you know, they could bring up any part of the Clone Wars into this series through live action, and it's just, I want to know what they're going to do. Is it going to be Mortis? Is it going to be a different arc? You know,
the more, and like I said, the Mortis one makes sense because of obviously what we've seen at the end of season 1. But I would like not to see Mortis because, well, I mean, I would like to see it, but I would also prefer Clone War, like during the proper Clone Wars with like Cody and like, could you imagine if Ahsoka's having one of these flashbacks with like Anakin and Rex and whatever, and then like Cody and Kenobi come running over in Clone Wars armor? It's like, oh my god, there's Cody! It's Cody! I'd love that.
But also, you know, they could do a similar thing where like, you know, how Anakin, he had his Clone Wars armor on, and then later on, he
well, the vision,
the Siege of Mandalore and all that, he had his like
normal
sort of Revenge of the Sith gear on. So yeah,
could do that. Very
they
possible.
could do the same with Kenobi.
Let us know what you think.
And then like the sort of Revenge of the Sith type clothes that Kenobi wears in the Mortis.
Yeah, very true. Let us know what you guys think of that.
Yes.
We'd love to hear your theories. Also, another bit of rumour going around recently, which I think is quite interesting. But we have the Mandalorian and Grogu film rumours. The main rumour is the main villain of the film is Embo, the bounty hunter, which I think is
with the big like sort of looks like a dustbin hat.
He's got a hat. He can use it as a shield. He can use it as like
a frisbee,
a little sled. Like it's very cool. I think he is a bit of an underrated bounty hunter. I think on our Mount Rushmore last time, when we were doing bounty hunters, I think he was an honourable mention.
Honourable mention, just because
he's got a dog.
Yeah, that. But also, like, he was a big part in the Clone Wars, and you know, he was an honourable mention because there are other bounty hunters that just
peaked it.
Are a bit better.
Yeah, but he is also very good and very cool, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing him in live action.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about him being the main villain though, but like, I guess there's nothing wrong with it because at the time of this film, there's no empire, so I don't want there to be Palpatine or
No.
an emperor, imperial guy like Moff Gideon as the baddie because it's like we've already had that.
Yeah.
So technically, a bounty hunter is probably the next best option.
Yeah.
In the timeline that we've got.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be quite cool. There is also rumours that the sort of main story is Embo has kidnapped Jabba the Hutt's son.
Stinky. I just call him Stinky because that's what Ahsoka says.
Yes, from the Clone Wars movie. Now, a lot of people are a little bit unhappy with that because they say that if this is what we're getting for the Mandalorian and Grogu film is a storyline from the first Clone Wars movie and something that a lot of fans didn't really like, I would be a bit surprised about that. Like Embo kidnapping Jabba the Hutt's son. Like, it's a bit of a weird one, but
I think also a lot of people like because that is the plot of the Clone Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I mean, when Clone Wars came out, it didn't do very well, like with the movie.
Yep.
So I think a lot of people are like, if that didn't do that well, then why are we like repeating the same sort of storyline?
Yeah, why are we getting excited for basically the same plot? If this is the first Star Wars film in years, why is it this? You know what I mean?
That's true. I think people were just expecting more of like a major storyline to like kind of connect a bit more to the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just rumors, guys. So we don't know what Dave Filoni's gonna.
What is Dave cooking up in his kitchen? But I do like the fact that Embo's in it. I think it's a character that no one would have expected, and I think it's a character that like people would want to see as well in a Star Wars project.
Yeah, and he is working on the other film as well.
Yeah, so this is Jon Favreau's film.
Yeah,
but Dave Filoni is like part of it, like one of the guys behind it.
Yeah.
But then Dave Filoni is also working on his own film, which is
it Heir to the Empire?
I believe so.
So people are spectating, is it going to connect to that film possibly?
Yeah, or is it going to be its own standalone thing?
Yeah.
But
I reckon it's going to be its own thing. But yeah, we don't know what they're going to do.
It's hard to say because I think if you've got a character like Mando, who is the main part of these new projects, like the main character in all these new series and whatever,
For sure.
you're probably going to want him as a part of Dave Filoni's film to culminate this whole series. So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
So I believe that's it for the news. Yeah, I think that's it. So
I think there was a few like Lego. I don't know if we talked about them last time.
Rumors.
So they're in talks of making like a Jango Fett sort of slave one.
I think that's almost been confirmed. It's not been like confirmed, but like everyone is saying this year we're getting a UCS.
And then
Jango,
there's going to be like a Plo Koon set.
Plo Koon microfighter,
Yeah.
which a lot of people are disappointed about because with the release of the Arc 170 set, a lot of people were expecting Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter to be full sort of normal size, like playable size, because even I didn't realize this, but when I saw the box the other day, didn't I? His Starfighter was actually on the box from the scene when obviously the Arc 170 suit shoot him down, but it's like it's almost like they did this set with the intention of having Plo Koon's Starfighter as a thing, but they've clearly, again, it's rumors and they've changed their opinion. But the Plo Koon minifig, that's quite a cool idea. I might get that one. It's a cool figure.
Just for the minifig. Yeah.
Yes. Also, speaking of minifigs,
Yes.
the new magazine is out, the Lego Mag,
Mhm.
with
I have
the
seen a few TikToks
Night
as well.
Owl Trooper.
Yeah.
And also, the next month's figure is Qui-Gon Jinn, which I think is quite cool.
Yes.
It's really cool. So, going to be getting that one, add it to the list. Got to get those minifigs, guys.
We're gonna end up with like a whole bedroom full of just minifigs.
Yeah, just like, oh look, there's an old Qui-Gon over there. Oh look, who's that over there? Yes, and then obviously there's other leaks or like rumors of like a turbo tank playset, 327th Battlestar or like battle pack.
Yeah, and of course the big UCS Death Star, which is
$999,
Yeah.
basically $1,000,
Yeah.
which I think is crazy.
Which is going to be the most expensive Lego set that they've ever done.
So I hope it's a good one, but I'm not getting it. But
also, like these things, they're just rumors at the minute. We haven't got any official pictures or anything. It's just we're talking about what's going around in Star Wars media at the minute.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yep.
Was there anything else going on my mind?
Don't think so. There wasn't any new figures or Funkos or anything.
Not that I can remember. No.
No.
I think there wasn't.
No.
So let's move on to the main topic of today's episode.
Skeleton Crew.
There we go. Mama Neil. So again, just in case you're a bit confused, we're doing episode 7 and 8.
Yes.
Just didn't want you guys being like, why are you talking about this one? Well, that's why.
Yes.
I quite liked the episode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interesting, shall we say, interesting way the character development with a certain Jod.
For sure.
But
I don't like him anymore.
No,
I thought he was alright to start with, and then
his true colours have shown.
in episode 7 I was like, no.
So we start the episode off on Assassin in one of the like forests, and we see that the parents of the children have sort of gathered, and they have got like a little illegal communication buoy that they've sort of rigged together and put together, and they're all just waiting for Mama Neil to turn up, and she turns up, and they like plug it in, but then she gets a sense. It's not like she's got the force, but it's like she's like, I got a bad feeling, and then it's like,
Yeah.
the lights turn on, and you can hear the security droids being like, "Halt! You are in possession of a legal communication device.
Yeah.
Please remain where you are. Like,
Yeah.
keep your hands in stuff like that." And all the like parents are like, "Oh, okay." And then Mama Neil, of all of them, she's like, "Just run!" So she quickly goes to pick it up, and just as she like grabs the device, she gets stunned by obviously one of the the blue taser ring stun rings that happens to Princess Leia in A New Hope, and we do see it throughout the Clone Wars. You know, even in Tales of Jedi, there's that scene of like Ahsoka training to take it, which ends up helping her escape Order 66. But I love how like it becomes almost like a relay. So then one of KB's mums picks it up, runs a bit, then gets tasered, and then her other mum.
It's like dominoes, isn't it? They're just all running. Oh, they've been stunned.
My turn. So then obviously KB's other mum then picks it up, runs a bit further, and then Wim's dad takes it. and again, he gets quite far, and they sort of start like activating it to like send it up. And he then gets stunned, and so Fern's mum picks it up and runs. But the droids like know she's there, and they start like calling out to her specifically.
She's like hiding behind like a rock.
And they're like, send her to a thing. Like, please stay where you are.
Yeah.
So she finds like a clear open bit, and she's like,
she lifts it up.
and the communication buoy like flies up. Now I have seen some people say that it's very reminiscent of like communication buoys used in the High Republic. But from what we learn in episode 8, my theory about Atin being like High Republic is sort of gone. But it's understandable, you know, like it is what it is. But yeah, so we see obviously the buoy sort of make its way up into the sky, and then sort of through the barrier and all that, which is quite cool. And then we see it like just in space.
Yeah.
So then the pirates arrive on their big sort of frigate ship, and they're like, Brutus is like, there's no way anyone's getting through that. It's like a nebula gas, like storm. So Jod's like, oh, let me take a ship and I'll fly down. And Brutus actually ends up saving him because he's like, no, I don't trust you. I'm going to take one of my pilots is going to fly it down. So we then get this Corran. Is it Corran? Yeah.
Corran, yeah.
From Species getting this sort of pirate spaceship. Now, we have seen these before. I can't remember what model they are, but these are the exact same ship that the pirates use in The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So you know how like one of them escaped in it? He escaped in one of these like sort of things. There's even a Lego set of it. But we see obviously the Corran get into it. And I was saying to you, obviously he's got this like specially done helmet for like his head bits. Yeah. But the helmet itself is like an A-wing pilot helmet. You know how we see it, and we see the A-wing pilots in Return of the Jedi now. It's literally an A-wing pilot, just with like extended bits, which I thought was quite cool.
That is fun.
So we see him take off, and he flies into the planet, and they're all monitoring his signs, like his life signs and that. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, it's a bit sharp." Bang, gone.
Yeah.
No more Corran. And all the like signs just like flatline. Yeah. So Brutus was like, "That's it. We can't get into it." So he grabs Jod, and Jod's like, "No, wait," pleading, puts him in the airlock, and like the countdown is going on. He's like, he was about to go. Yeah. And then the Onyx Cinder, like, they get a notification that a ship has just jumped out of hyperspace. So they all look and they see the Onyx Cinder. And then Jod suddenly gets this idea and realizes that the ship is the key to getting through the barrier.
And then there's this funny bit with SM-33, and he's like, "Oh, doesn't it look beautiful without his outer shell?" I can't remember exactly what he says, but something like that. Also, I just want to mention, there's a bit where Jod is like, because Brutus is like, "That can't be the planet," and then Jod says, "Don't you think they would try and disguise it? Like, that's why there's this horrible like outer gas on it to make it look like it's not a treasure planet, you know." Anyway, sorry, just like...
No, it's fine. And he even asked, like, he's like, SM-33, tell him. But yeah, so this woman saves him just as he's about to get sent out the airlock. Same woman that like vouched for him. I can't remember her name. And obviously we see the kids get their sort of first look at and they're like, "Oh my god." that must be the barrier and all that. And you're like, oh, they're gonna.
They've only seen it from the other side. Like.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, they're gonna head down to the planet, and then they get caught in the frigate's tractor beam. And it's like, oh bloody hell, these pirates are right buggers on there. So the pirates like sort of bring them into the hangar, and all the pirates gather in the like hangar bay, all like guns raised and pointed, and the thing comes down, and then KB using the like intercom and the voice changer does like a deep voice being like, don't come any closer, sort of thing. And Brutus sort of steps forward and he's like,
all right then.
Right. And then gets surprised by the cargo claw, which grabs hold of him.
And he's like,
and then there's like literally got him. He's like, help me. And then Jod, being Jod, this is where we see, obviously, more of his brutal side. He steps forward, takes Brutus's pistol, and shoots him. And it's like, oh my god, blank. Yeah. And all the other pirates are like in shock. Like, what the hell? What did you do?
Yeah.
And then he was like, he was weak. He was feeble. He's like, I've brought you the real treasure. You will follow me now and all that.
Yep.
And they like.
And he's like,
yeah.
oh Lord, you'll find scared kids there.
You'll find 4 scared kids. And so the kids then obviously get captured. So they're being held as prisoners on the ship. And then Jod comes on with now back in his like Captain Silvo look. He's got the helmet on, he's got the like coat. So we're back to Captain Silvo.
Yeah. And then one of them's like, oh, we have a transmission. And then he obviously sees all the parents.
So the communication buoy was a load of was recorded messages from the parents of the kids, basically saying like, it's okay, this is how you get back. You need to find Republic Embassy. No, not Embassy. Emiracy. Anyway, so you got to find one of those, and they will bring you back. Stay strong.
Don't tell anyone the coordinates of that is.
Yeah, and all the kids are like watching.
They're like, oh no.
And all the kids are like, oh. And I love as well how Neil's mum is like, Joker lost a tooth the other day.
Yeah.
And he had a credit under his pillow. So it's like, but then I think she says something like, he said he didn't want the credit, he just wanted his big brother. And I was like, oh, my little Neil.
I didn't pick up on that. That's so cute. Oh,
bless him. Poor little Neil. And then Jod tries basically ordering SM-33 to like take control of the ship and whatever.
Yeah.
And SM-33 is like, as part of the code, you can only have one ship at a time. And obviously he's got the big frigate ship, so he can't claim the Onyx Cinder as itself. And then all of a sudden Wims gets the idea, he's like, wait. And he goes to say, I claim this shit. But obviously Jod's like, I know what you do.
Yeah.
Grabs and like covers his mouth. And then we see like Fern being like, unclaimsies. No, because then Jod says, doesn't he? He's like, I claim the Onyx Cinder as my ship.
Yeah.
And then Fern's like, unclaimsies, we were here first.
Yeah.
We declare this ship like a kids only ship sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Jod's like, no. SM-33. And then all of a sudden he's like,
like, and you see like a chunk of his mask just like break off.
Yeah.
Just go,
and the like other 2 pirates are like,
he deserves that.
and SM33 like takes him out. It's like and he takes him out, which is very
I
cool.
love SM33. So
Yes,
cool.
very cool. And then he sort of like takes the three of them off the ship.
Yeah.
And then as the ship is like finally leaving the like frigate ship, Jod sort of wakes up, and you can see him like take off his helmet because it's smashed now, you know. And we see that he's like no, and the ship like takes off and flies towards the planet. And we come across these like storm sensors because we see one of these take out the Quarren's ship.
Yeah.
Don't we? And
I think these are like the sort of barriers, aren't they?
yeah, they help create this like storm, but because of it being a special ship, the Onyx Cinder, the like barrier thing turns green, and they like pass through the gas into the planet. And I was like, this is a really cool shot. This is one of my favorite in the episodes. You know what I mean? Like, just looks so nice. The ship, like, right in the middle, flying towards home. Everything is good. The kids are like, yeah, we're going home. And then we realise Jod got back on the ship. And Fern's like, SM33, get him. So he's like, my pleasure, Captain, or something. And as he steps towards him, Jod's just like, psh, chops his head off. That was brutal.
I did not like him after that.
No. He chops off SM33's head, and the kids are like, and then he's like, sit down, get down. And he is evil. He tries then contacting his ship, and there's like no communication through the barrier, so he can't reach it. But then like the kids are looking all scared. You right?
Yeah, he's just gonna have a drink.
And the kids are all scared, and you know they're like, but he has a real like dark turn. And he's like, you know, he looks at Wynn, and he's like, you're weak, you're insufferable, sort of thing. Really like goes in hard on him, doesn't he?
I really did not like Jod in the scene.
No, he was dark, and he was like gets out his lightsaber again, and he's like, you will do everything as I say, you will not try and take over anything. He's like, I've seen what your parents looked like.
Yeah.
Just imagine me like slicing them up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's
bloody
like,
hell.
it's easier for me to know who to slice up and stuff. And it's like,
jeez,
what on earth happened to you, Jod? And also, I think because Fern is like the sort of leader figure of the group, he does pick on her quite a bit as well, because she's the one that's like, she'll stand up and speak her opinion. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I don't like him.
I don't like it, but I think Jude Law in this scene really was incredible. Like,
sure.
my point, one of my points about like stuff like this is, if an actor plays a character that you dislike with a passion just because of the character, not because of the acting, or it's because of how bad and evil they are, sort of thing.
It means they've done a good job.
It means they've done a great job. Like, I don't know if you remember, but when like Game of Thrones first came out, I think his name was Jack. Can't remember, Jack something. But he played Joffrey in Game of Thrones, and he was getting so much hate from the fans. And yeah, I hated him as a character, but that was just him being a great actor and portraying this character so well. Yeah. And in this scene, Jude Law does the exact same of like, you hate Jod because of he's just killed SM33. He's like told the kids that if they don't do what he said, he's going to chop up their parents, Like, as kids, that's terrifying.
I know.
But
as an adult, that's really terrifying.
very brutal. And I just think Jude does a really good job in this scene. It's like,
John.
I know, he's a John. But yeah, we can really see them, like, the kids being like scared.
And it also just shows what a versatile actor Jude Law is. You know, we've seen him in like The Holiday or like Alfie, and it's like complete different character. And you know, usually you like him as a person. In this, it's like he was all right at the beginning, you know, sort of giving Wim advice and, you know, cheering him up and all that and trying to help him get back home. But then now, look at him. He chopped our 733 head off.
And I think as well, because
and I was like, oh, is he okay? I was more concerned for SM33, to be honest. But no, we find out.
And we also
right.
do see as well the little fuzzball rat come out of his head, and he's like, ah.
Yeah. So he said his 2 pence worth.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what he said, but I
he
think
was mad.
I think he called him worse than a Slimo. You know?
Yes.
But
definitely not wizard.
she's definitely not wizard. And so as the kids now are like sat there quiet, like, we're gonna do what he says, like, this guy means business. The ship goes into like autopilot as it enters the atmosphere. And then it sort of cuts to Assassin and the family, like the parents are in a like a control like room, like a meeting room with the security droids, and then a voice comes over the tannoy, and it's, citizens of Atavan, this is the supervisor speaking.
Mm-hmm.
We have a visitor from the Republic, a Republic emissary coming to visit. All work and shifts will be suspended for the next week. And it's Stephen Fry, the famous actor and voice actor that portrays the supervisor, which I thought was quite interesting. He's a good actor.
Which we do see the supervisor in the next episode.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
So then the parents are like, wait, because then KB's mum's like life monitor sort of goes off.
Yes.
She's like, it's KB.
Yes.
So they're like, oh my god, it's the kids.
They're like, yay!
So they all sort of like run out, and the ship comes and lands on this almost like park.
Yes.
Like, and but it like opens up.
Like a little field, like a circle field, and then the
like,
ground opens up, and everyone's like, what? What's happening?
And there was a couple
like
that was having a
milking
picnic that ended up going like flying because they were like, oh, like there was a poor picnic ruined, that wasn't it?
I know.
Grass in your sandwiches now.
Oh.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
No.
So yeah, the ship docks, but then we also see like these like clamps come on to like keep it secure.
Yeah.
And then the kids come on out of the ship with Jod, and the security droids are like, greetings, emissary. And he's like, yes, I'm a Republic emissary. I'm here for the mint sort of thing. And he's like, they're like, okay, cool. And then he's like, these kids, I found these kids on my travels. Like, I've come to return them. Yeah.
So then the whole floor sort of like goes down.
Yeah.
And they're all like going down.
On like an elevator sort of thing.
Yeah. So they're going down into the mines where like they make the mints.
Yeah, and then we see this like golden ball, which is obviously the mint, where they like actually make the credits.
Gold, very royal.
Yes, and then he keeps like checking on the kids, and they're like, okay, like not good.
And they're like, great.
And they're just sat there like watching what's going on. I love this shot of them all.
I mean, because they've never seen this either.
Yeah.
So they're like seeing part of their home planet they've never seen before. So they're also curious, but they're also like, why?
He's just a bad guy.
Because they can't say anything, you know.
Yeah. And so like
Difficult.
it comes down, and then they finally get to like a platform by this like vault, and the droid's like, come with me, I'll show you the vault. And it like opens up. Oh my god,
My gosh.
so many credits. There's literally like just gold, these like blocks of gold
Yeah.
credits.
There are
everywhere.
so many.
I could build a whole fleet of Venators
You
in
could.
this one vault.
I think you could build a lot of fleets of Venators in just one.
Well, fine by me. Have my own fleet. But then it's like you as the viewer is also like stunned watching this as like Jod's like, and then the droid says, this is one vault of 1119 or something, isn't it? Because I remember the number being, because there's one, basically he says there's another 1118 or something.
Yeah.
Which is the name of George Lucas's film T-X. I think it's 1118. I think I can't remember which one. You have to let me know on that, guys. But I think that's a little nod.
Should I Google it?
Yes, but that is a nod to that. Obviously, being like, there's this many other vaults. So it's like, if this is one vault, think of how much credits.
1138.
1138.
So he said there was 1,139 volts or
Yes.
something.
So obviously one other. This is one, but so the rest of them comes to that, which a little nod to George Lucas, which I think is quite cool.
Very
But
nice.
to think how much that was. So then we get this like scene of like, you know when you see it in films where they come across the gold and it's like shining on their face and that. Jod's there looking at the credits like, what the hell? Like,
And then it all starts like coming down like dominoes.
Yeah, like look at it.
And then
They have so many of these like boxes just of credits.
Yeah.
And he like touches it and it starts like falling down and then he like puts his face in it. It's all like, I was like,
it's like
I
raining
kind
credits.
of would like to be like, all my Venators, all my clones, all my fleet I could have. I'd love that.
House.
This is the Star Wars universe we're talking about.
True.
If this was real life, it would be a house. It would be every Lego set, every Funko out there.
Could you imagine how many Lego Venators you could buy with all of these
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
credits?
But yeah, so we get this, and it's like I would react like that if I found the credits. I'd just be like, oh my god, what have I found? And then while the kids are waiting, we see the parents like turn up on like another lift, and we get this really nice reunion where they're like Wim's like, or like, I think the first one is KB.
Yeah.
And KB's like, Mom, runs over. They have a really nice hug, and then Neil's like, Mom.
Yeah.
Has a big hug with Mama Neil, and then Fern and her mum, and then Wim and Rim runs over to his dad, and he like looks at him for a sec, and then just gives him a big hug. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then while they're sort of hugging, we see Jod sort of come back out. But we see this where he like pulls out the lightsaber. I was like, oh my god, what are you going to do?
And then the episode just ends.
I was like, oh.
And I was like, is that it? Is that really where it's going to end? No!
Yeah.
Because you just see Neil and his mum just like, oh, what's he going to do?
Please don't.
I was so scared for Neil's life. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't sleep.
I mean, look at his little face here.
He's so cute.
And then you got Mama Neil there as well.
Oh
no. But that's where it ends.
Yeah.
So obviously we then had to wait to find out what happens. Clearly, I've got some in the wrong one. So we see Jod being like, "It's okay. I'm a Republican Embassy. Like, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid," sort of thing.
Also, he didn't have it lit for long.
Yeah, it was just like, shh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
And I'm like, that was totally just
for drama.
Clickbaiting.
I totally can understand that. Yeah, and he's like, the parents are like, "Are the kids have been any trouble, Emerson?" And he's like, "Oh, they've been quite a bit of trouble, especially this one." He points at Fern, just like, "Oh." But yeah, he sort of tells them, "Look, they need to be kept an eye on. Like, you can you need to let me know, like, if they say or do anything as part of their like education sort of thing." And they're like, yes, we'll sort that out immediately. So they all sort of go off, but like, he's like, "Droids, I want," or the droid's like, "You should come with us and meet the supervisor." And so he's like, "Cool." He's like, "I'm going to take Fern with me, almost to keep an eye on her." And then her mum's like, "I'll come with you." And it's like, oh, okay. But
then the others have to go home.
Yeah, so they all go home, and the droids escort Fern, her mum, and Jod to the supervisor. Because obviously Jod's being the sort of person that's like, "I need to let my other ship know that I'm here." So they go up, and they come into this control room, which is like empty and dusty.
Yeah.
And we do learn, which some people suspected, the supervisor is actually a droid, like a computer, which, I mean, I sort of suspected with the fact that we hadn't seen them. And it was just all signs were leading to it.
I think also, like, Atin is controlled by droids anyway.
Yes.
Like, you've got all the droids that look like CCTV cameras.
The security droids.
And then you've got the whole mint that we saw in, obviously, the last episode. All of that is, like, machinery controlled. There's not a human in sight down there.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Greetings, like, Embassy, very nice to meet you," sort of thing, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, "Fern, I'm glad to see that, like, you and everyone is all safe and well." He's like, "I've been watching your development closely," or something. Basically, it's a nod to Palpatine saying to Anakin, like, "We'll be watching your career with great interest." It's a little nod to that. And then, we get this scene where Jod's like, "I need to contact my ship." And the supervisor's like,
There'll
be no communication, sort of thing.
Outside the barrier. This is protocol.
And then he's like, "I'm a Republic Embassy, I'm a Jedi." And he's like, "Ooh, a Jedi." And it's like, our last communication. So this is where, for me, I learn, or you realise that it's not the High Republic. It's the Republic before, like, the end, just before the end of the Clone Wars. Because he says, our last communication with the Republic was saying all Jedi are traitors. So obviously, At-Atin has been given not Order 66, but being told by the, like, Palpatine or the Senate that the Jedi are traitors, and basically, that was the last communication they had with the Republic. So this planet has missed out on the whole ending of the Clone Wars,
and
the Galactic Civil War with the
Rebellion.
Rebellion and the Emperor. So this system hasn't had anything to do with that
No.
at all, which I thought was quite interesting. And then Fern finally speaks up.
That's the point where the other planets in this system,
Yeah.
like the other ones, I wonder if it's where they got destroyed, and then
Maybe.
Atatin was the only one left. But after Order 66, they thought all of them had been destroyed.
Maybe.
Who knows?
But that was the last communication they had with the Republic. So to them,
Mm-hmm.
the Republic was still,
Yeah.
still a thing.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah, and then we sort of cut to Wim and his dad, and they're having a meal, like some food.
Yeah.
But the droid, like security droid, is watching them. And every time Wim speaks, the droid like looks at him. And then every time his dad speaks, it's like... Zh, zh. So it's like Wim wants to tell him what is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Very true.
yeah, so we then sort of then cut to...
And that must feel so annoying as well. Like, you know that John is a bad guy, but you're constantly being spied on by people.
And like you want to say something to him, but like just you can't. And I feel bad for him. And then we then sort of cut back to them, and Fern like steps up and is like, he's a bad guy. He just wants the mint. He's trying to get his pirate ship, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the supervisor's like, as I expected, you are not a good guy, sort of thing. And then it's like, huh. He then pulls out his lightsaber, and the droids sort of come for him, and he like he blocks them with his he blocks the stun with his lightsaber, which I thought was really cool, because it's like he must have been pretty good as a lightsaber wielder to be able to block stun attacks like that. You know what I mean? And then he stabs the eye of the supervisor, which literally blacks out the whole planet. Like you see all the blocks being like boom, all the lights going out. And Neil, bless him, is having a bath.
Yeah.
And the lights go out, and he's just stood there like, oh man.
Yeah.
And he's like a bit like, what the hell's going on? And then he like looks up through the skylight.
Yeah.
And we see
the pirate ship.
Yes, the pirate ship descends through the barrier, because we see our good friend Jod now get in touch, and is like,
he's not a good friend.
No, he's not. He's like, look, you can come on through now. I've allowed your ship to come through. Start the invasion, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yes, the like all the power's now gone out across the planet. Everyone's like, what the hell?
Wim is like, huh?
Because he's in his bedroom.
And then the droid like powers off. And then
Before that. Before that he goes he goes up to his bedroom, and he's like talking to Neil.
Oh yeah.
And the droid comes in, he's like, who are you talking to? Foreign communication is prohibited. And then he's like, order.
Yeah.
Orders are...
picks up toys.
He's like, oh no. I was like, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
That. And then because then the power goes out.
Yeah.
And he then like runs downstairs. He's like, Dad, no, because the droid then walks off.
Yeah.
And then he goes down. He's like, Dad. He's like, oh, it's just a power outing. He's like, no, look. He like pushes a droid and just goes flying. He's like, Vern's in danger. Jod's not a good person because he's like, I can tell you now.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the pirate ship comes down and he's like, launch them. So we then see the pirates and these like sort of hover ships, almost like the sail barges, you know, like floating ships with guns and that, and they start like shooting the planet and blowing things up, and it's like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Nasty people, leave that alone.
I know. I don't like the pirates at all.
Yeah. And then so Wim's like, we got to get Fern, we got to help her. So they then like, we got to get to the ship. And Neil turns up with KB on the like hover bike. I was like, hey! And Neil's like, Wim's dad's like, no, we're not doing it. You don't need to do it. And Wim's like, I gotta stay firm.
Yeah.
Jumps on his one and drives off. So Wim's dad chases after him, and then sees that like guy that we see in like episode 1 or something, like just chilling on his like.
And he's like.
so then Wim's dad catches up, and they're being shot at by the pirates.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think this is the first time Wim's dad has felt a bit alive in a while.
Yeah.
And we see that obviously they take the shortcut, and Wim's like, oh my god, the ridge. Yep. And KB's like, trust me, go full power and you'll be all right. So then she sort of does it, and Wim's dad's like, I'm heavier than you. And he's like, trust us. Yeah. So they all make it, and Wim's dad's like, yes! Whoa! He was so happy with himself, wasn't it? Bless him.
I did like that scene.
That was quite cool. And so they make it back to the ship, and they're like, look, if we can get the ship out of the barrier, we can then send communication. So they make it to the Onyx, but then, that was right as well. During the chase, Neil gets sort of blasted off his bike in the school. And he's like, don't worry about me, go.
Yeah.
So they all ride off. And so KB's like, I'm going to stay with the ship. I need you two to like get the barrier down from the tower. So they make it in. And obviously here's the droids like powering down. And so Neil comes up with a very clever idea, which is very cool. He's like, I'll give you some help, because he remembers on Hannah's planet, on top of the school, there's a turbo laser cannon.
Yep.
And he's like, I'll get you some cover fire to get up. So Wim goes in pretending he's by himself. He's like, I can't remember what he says, but he tries like reasoning with Jod, and Jod doesn't see Wim's dad come in, and then it's a bit of a like tussle sort of whole scene, because like Wim's dad,
I think he says
cuts the locks to the ship, but then they're like, we got to destroy the barrier to get communication out. Yeah. So,
but Wim lies, and he's like, we've made contact with the X-Wings. They're on their way. Yeah. And then he's like, yes, impossible, because the barrier is up and you can't communicate outside the barrier. And then Fern is like, yeah, but he got the crystal a long time ago, and it gives him...
Yes, it was the mythic crystal or something, wasn't it? It's like, obviously like kids' fable tale.
And then he's like, I don't believe that story. I think you should work on it. And then all of a sudden he spots the dad, and then
tries shooting him, and then
the dad's stuck there.
And then he tries they try going for the lever, and it's a bit of a tussle, and then basically like, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it is a case of like Wim's dad is trying to reach for the lever. He does actually knock Jod's lightsaber out of him, because there's that bit where like,
and Wim's
got it. And he's like,
right way this time.
And he's like holding and like he's trying to take the lightsaber back while holding on to his dad. And then Fern goes and helps, and she's looking at her mum, and she's like, "Help!"
Yeah, and then her mum just goes.
Yeah. So we get this scene where they pull down the barrier, and then that's when we get like this scene where all the residents on Atin are seeing the like barrier like disappear,
and they can see stars for the first time.
It's cool. It's
crazy.
But it's a really cool scene and really well done as well. I like how the shield just sort of evaporates almost, just goes. And obviously we see that's then when we get the bit where KB takes off with help from SM33. She's basically like rewired him, and he's like she's holding his head.
Yeah, and he's driving
he's flying the ship, and while the ship is being shot at by the pirate frigate, that's when Neil then comes into action, shoots the guns off the ship, and then he's like, okay, and he like quickly runs away, and he's like, and they take out the cannon, but the Onyx Cinder has escaped, and we see the KB goes out of the barrier into space and is like, Kim, I need you. And Kim like comes up as a hologram. It's like, this is the coordinates, Ryan. The pirates are here. And he's like, you made it back time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sending help.
I'm sending my squad.
And then I said to you that because she says I'm sending the Republic fleet. They're the best pirate like destroyers or whatever in the galaxy. And I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I bet Mando in the M1 Starfighter is going to come up, and that's
you were like, who's going to show up? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like Carson TV fellow. And you were like, no, I reckon it's Mando.
Mando in
None
the
of them showed up, but it's fine.
But could you imagine it? Like Mando in the M1 Starfighter turns up, shooting the pirates.
That would be so.
And then you could get at the scene at the end with Neil and Grogu. Oh my god. That would be too much.
Or even Jorka and Grogu. How cute would that be?
Don't. That's crazy.
No, it's fine.
But so that happens.
It was good anyway.
And then Jod's like, what have you done? Why did you do that sort of thing? And then we see the Republic fleet arrive. And I was really happy about this. Because we see like a big group of X-Wings. So in this photo, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here from this perspective.
Yeah.
Coming in. And 2 B-Wings. I was like, B-Wings. This is cool. This is a first. Now, obviously, we see them in Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
And we also do see like the origins of the B-Wing in Rebels, because Hera test pilots it. But I was so glad to see them again. I was like, yes. And they start like taking out the pirates, and the pirates all like, back to the ship, quick.
Yeah.
But for me, like this bit where they were coming in to attack the pirate ship, and then, where is it? This was one of my favourite shots, where it was the B-Wings. And they use the red cannon that like absolutely like obliterates everything.
Yep.
I was like, I'm seeing B-Wings in Star Wars again, using their weapon. I love it. Yep. I love it. It's so cool to see, and I'm so glad that they included it. And then we get this scene as well, because obviously the ship's now going down, and it's like it's coming to a crash. Like Wim and his dad and Fern and her mum go into an elevator to get out of it, and Jod's just there, and Wim's leaving like, Jod, and he just sort of like smiles at him, and the door's shut, and they obviously get out, because they also see as well, I meant to mention, they see the Onyx Cinder like go crashing down, don't they? And they're like, KB!
They're like, no!
So they
and
go
I'm like,
out.
they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fine.
And we get this quite cool shot of just sort of Jod looking out the window, watching the ship come past before it crashes down on Anne. Great, I love this shot as well, by the way, because it sort of ends up in the river, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a very cool shot. And we see like the X-wings fly over the top, and it's like. And we also see a Republic Corvette, the same like type of ship as the Tantive 4.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
You're like, it's the Tantive 4. I was like, no, it's not the Tantive 4.
Well, that one.
It's the same ship. It's the same, like, same type of ship. But this one's got blue markings all over it. But very cool to see. And obviously, this is the Republic coming to Atatin for the first time. Which I thought was quite cool.
That is cool.
And so the kids, they run out and they sort of regroup at the school, and they find the Onyx Cinder like sort of not like fully crashed down, but like hanging up. And then the front door opens and all the credits come rolling out.
Yeah.
So the security droids was obviously like being put in the credits in there. And it comes like all like tumbling out, and then KB like rolls out and they're like, KB! And so they go over and she sort of gets up, and all the kids are now like back together, and they all have like a group hug on top of the credits. And I was like, all those Venators. Sorry. Yeah. And then SM-33 comes down like holding his head. He's like, but then the like ship starts to be like, so like, get out of here quick.
Friend's mum's like, get out from under that ship.
So they all like run away quick, just as it sort of like comes down, and that's it. How it ends, really. Like it ends with like the Corvette ship sort of flying over Atlas, and it's like, what now?
I know.
Like Jod's still chilling in the supervisor tower.
That's exactly what I said. What about Jod?
Yeah,
he's just chilling there, and that's it. Until they make season 2.
So Jod's in the tower.
I think they make season 2 because I need to know what's happening.
Yes. I think they said when they made season 1, they made it with the intent of like, we were only going to do 1 season.
Well, what's happening with Jod then?
But apparently they are talking about doing season 2 now, because it has been such a well-acclaimed hit. And yeah, but there's just so many unanswered questions. Like the Republic now know about Atin and the Mint. Jod's still chilling in the tower. Like, what's going to happen? So I hope to know, but I hope there's a bit of a time jump, because I think I don't think the story should continue straight away with like, Mon Mothma turning up here, being like, "Welcome to the Republic."
Yeah, that's true. But also, I want to know what happened to Jod.
Yeah.
I hope that he's going to get put in like a jail or something.
Maybe.
Or get defeated by someone.
Wow. And we also do learn as well in this episode Jod's story. He was a Padawan, wasn't it? And his master, they got hunted by Inquisitors, and his master was killed. He was made to watch his master get killed in front of them by the Inquisitors, which is brutal as hell. Yeah. But still feel a bit for him. But he was like, he turned so evil towards that, like at the end. Yeah. But what did you think of Skeleton Crew?
I thought it was good. I think it was something different in Star Wars, and I think it had some really great scenes, and definitely felt like a sort of 80s like childhood story.
Yeah, like adventure film.
Yeah, almost like nostalgic, but different for Star Wars.
I think as well what I liked about it was still Star Wars, but just nice to see it from a different point of view. Yes. Like completely different to seeing it of like Jedi, Sith, Clone Wars, Empire, Rebel. We're seeing it from some kids who've found a ship and they've ended up being crossed with like pirates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
I think it would have been nice to have a bit of a better ending, just because.
Yeah, the ending was a bit.
I don't like how it just sort of abruptly ended, and now I'm like, what is happening?
So basically, the way that it ends is like the pirates have been defeated.
Mm.
The New Republic have arrived to, obviously they've helped out.
Mm-hmm.
But the New Republic, this Corvette ship, is a sign that the New Republic, are here now.
Yeah.
And obviously, we also know that like Jod's still in the tower. So there's still some stuff, but yeah, I agree with you about like the way that it's ended is very much like, okay, the kids is all fine.
There could have been maybe like one little cameo.
Hondo should have been in this. Could you imagine?
It would have been good.
I love it. I think
or like
great.
You say, Mando or Carson Teva, something like that.
Teva would have also made sense because obviously he is
part of the New Republic.
He's a commander in the New Republic, but I guess they didn't want this show to be built and based on just cameos and like, oh, Mando turned up. Oh my god, it's its own thing. It doesn't need the cameos.
Yeah.
It just would have been nice to have like Hondo because he is like the most famous like pirate, isn't he? You know what I mean? I love him. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I would give it overall.
I'd watch it all over.
I would probably give it. Probably could give it 9 out of 10.
That's quite high.
I think 9 out of 10. I think I really enjoyed it. There was elements of it that I absolutely loved. Seeing the B-wings. The lightsaber, which I'm sure is High Republic, and the noise and the character development and the kids as well were amazing. Like the acting in it was so good. So I think give them a shout out and praise, and I think it was just well written and done, and it deserves its high acclaim. So yeah,
I'd probably given it like an 8.
Cool.
Or a 7, something like
that. It's quite low.
Okay, an 8.
Well, no. You can say something. Why?
Just in terms of all of the series, I wouldn't rate it as highly as like Ahsoka or The Mandalorian or Kenobi.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That is my only reason.
Fair enough.
But I did really enjoy it, and I think if anyone is throwing hate at the series, no.
Well, people threw hate at The Acolyte, and
True.
That was so wrong with me because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I would just say, in terms of all Disney Plus shows, I would rate this like under Ahsoka and Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed breaking it down with you.
Yes.
It's been nice. I love having these episode breakdowns. It's it's always fun. I think this year we've got Andor season 2. Well, I might be doing that one by myself so someone here doesn't like Andor. So I will be doing the breakdowns by myself.
No.
So for a couple of weeks, you might not see Chloe.
No, I'm gonna be here, and I'm still gonna be watching.
Should we just get like a cardboard cutout? So it's like, hi guys, this is Chloe.
No, I'm still going to be watching it because it is Star Wars at the end of the day. So even though I don't overly like Andor very much, sorry guys, I am still gonna be watching it.
Okay.
So I am still gonna be here.
Okay. But obviously,
and also we got the Mandalorian Grogu coming out in May.
Yes.
As well, so we'll have that to break down after a little cinema trip.
We might also be breaking down Revenge of the Sith again because that's coming back to cinema this year. I would imagine for the anniversary, and I cannot wait to see that film in the cinema again. I could be like,
no. Well, I saw it when I was 5 years old in the cinema. So it will be a nice experience as well. To see it again. Obviously, I've watched it probably 1,000 times since at home.
I apologise to anyone who sees the film in the same cinema screen as me because I will be sat there like, I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. Like,
You're going to be quoting it all the way through.
I would try and like mouth it instead of being like saying it out loud. I'll just be like, yes.
Yes.
But that's it for the breakdown. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Yes.
So obviously the next couple of episodes, well, for the foreseeable future, will be back to us talking about different elements in Star Wars.
Different topics, and then getting special guests on as well.
So now that we have finished Skeleton Crew, our aim is we really want to get guests on like yourselves, because we love having you on, and we've already made, like had a couple of people be like, we want to come on.
Yeah.
Great. So yes, please, if you do want to be involved, like you want to come on as a guest, get in touch. Our socials are down here. Probably the best place to check us out is our Instagram, because we're being a little bit more active on there at the minute. We're posting sort of almost daily, aren't we? Like our Lego collection and little different stuff.
Yeah.
Also, a little shout out, and I don't know if it is going to happen, but I believe it is. Obviously, to our American listeners, we know TikTok is, I think, being banned come Sunday, I believe, unless anything drastically changes. So if you don't want to miss out on the podcast, make sure to go over to our Instagram, follow us on there, and be in touch with us there. Again, we thank you for liking Will the Clone Trooper sketches, our cap cuts. We do.
There is more Will the Clone Trooper to come, guys. I really want to film some this year. It's just really difficult at the moment because we share a house with other people.
Yes.
But we will.
We will be doing more than Will the Clone Trooper. I feel like you want to do more Will the Clone Trooper than I do.
I definitely do. Okay.
But yes, to our American friends, please.
We'll do some more Mando as well.
Yes.
We've only done one Mando video on our TikTok. But,
yes,
all of our TikToks are going to be posted on our Instagram now. So, I mean, not all the ones that we've already done.
Well, we will try and move some of them over.
We might do some of the classic, nice ones, the funny ones, but all the ones that we film now on our TikTok going forward, if we film any Will the Clone Trooper sketches and all of that, we will post them on our Instagram Reels as well, so that you guys from America, if you have been banned after Sunday, that you can still watch them on Instagram, and hopefully Instagram doesn't go the same way.
Yes, because
otherwise we're gonna have to find something else, like Facebook or something.
But as well, we've also made friends. We have quite a lot of friends in America that we've also sort of met through TikTok and stuff. We saw a video of them, Clone Trooper Cam, for example.
Yeah.
One of the first guests and people that I got in contact with I saw his TikTok video. I was like,
as well.
I think he's amazing. Started following him, got talking to him, and then Clone Trooper Cam's become a friend of ours.
Even before I knew Will, I saw Clone Trooper Cam's videos on my TikTok, and I followed him, and then obviously I got to know you, and then he was on an episode as well, and crazy.
And we've got
obviously other people as well.
Exactly, we've got many of our troopers in America that we love, and we don't want to lose contact with you guys because you are I think America is our biggest audience in terms of listening and watching, which is quite funny that there's more people in America that listens to us than in our own country. But I'm not complaining.
I think you can understand us.
Yes.
Sometimes I am very rusty.
Great lash, isn't it? But yes, another little thing just want to leave on before we go. Yes. We just want to give a little shout out to everyone in the California area, state, especially with the wildfires going on at the minute. We know some people out there as well. We hope you're all okay. You know, everyone out there is doing all right. I know it's going to be a very stressful and emotional time for you. But we are sending you all our like thoughts and prayers and all that. You know, we're thinking of you guys.
Yes.
So yes, keep strong and
And
you're
stay
powerful.
safe.
Yeah.
You've got this.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's it. Oh, troopers of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't leave a troopers of the out on the troopers of the week.
Yeah.
So mine is someone who I feel like I've had before as a trooper, but again, very cool. So it's Commander.Apo. We've been I feel like he likes a lot of our posts and we like a lot of his. Has a really cool cosplay. So he's got like this one here where he's like a free 30-second.
Yes.
Can't really see it, but it's like he's there in the wilderness.
And he's got a sort of like Mayday.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like
He looks like Mayday if he was a free 30
I think the idea is he survived the crash with Jesse and the clones. Like he was a lone survivor. I think it's a great idea. I love it. Commander.Apo again, fantastic. Love it, mate.
So mine is interestingly someone my sister works with. She recently got a new job and discovered this guy. He's called Pikachu's Print Shop on Etsy. Now, a lot of his stuff is Pokemon. However, he mixes Pokemon with Star Wars sometimes.
Very cool.
So some of them are obviously just normal Pokemon, but then there's ones like these where he's done like a
Diglett in an R2.
Yeah, and then he's got like a duck. Is it called Ducklet? And it's like Jar Jar Binks, and then he's got.
I think it's Psyduck.
Yeah, that's the one. And then Mewtwo as Darth Vader as well.
I do quite like that one. I'm a bit of a Mewtwo fan.
I do really like that one. There was also an Eevee. There was Mandalorian, if I can find it, which looked very cool.
Yeah.
There's also Pikachu Chewbacca as well. Again, really struggling to get this to focus. There you go. You can sort of see it. But yeah, some very cool. Oh, there's the Eevee one with Mando. He's got like a Mando helmet on. But yeah, I mean, me and Will are into a little bit of Pokemon as well, so it is quite cool to have like Star Wars mixed with Pokemon.
Yeah, but that was very cool. So that's something cool to shout out.
Yeah. But maybe we will get one as well in the future.
Be a nice addition to my collection.
Like a little 3D print Star Wars Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, also, again, like we mentioned on Instagram, we will be posting our pics of our latest sets.
Yes.
So we have the mid-scale Acclimator. Looks really nice,
We've
nice build.
While we've been ill, building some Lego. So we've built the Acclimator and the Ahsoka Starship as well. So we are going to be posting those on our...
So we got the Acclimator to show you how good it looks. That was a really nice, fun build. Really chill. We just had the Clone Wars on in the background.
I know.
And we had the Ryloth battle where we had like 3 Acclimators come down while we're building it. It was like, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
This is so meant to be.
We're in the process of watching the Clone Wars in order through again.
So we've been doing that, and then obviously we got Ahsoka's Interceptor.
Yep.
And also you've got a really cool comparison of the Anakin from the 2014 Interceptor.
Yes.
And the one that comes with Ahsoka.
So you can see the difference in the minifigs and
very cool.
And the ships.
But yeah, we've got loads and loads to show you guys. So
yeah,
we'll keep an eye on that. And again, we're following more on people, and we want you to get in touch with us. We want to get you on.
Yep.
So yeah, from me, guys, we hope you've enjoyed our Skeleton Crew breakdowns.
Yep.
We hope that we'll see you next week for just a normal fun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from me, guys, may the